Right now on Denver 7 News at 6 a.m., a Broncos star is waking up behind bars.
Wide receiver Jeudy will make his first court appearance today. I'm Denver 7's Veronica Acosta. I'll explain the misdemeanor charge he's facing.
The news broke just as the Broncos schedule was released, and this new team behind Russell Wilson is getting the primetime spotlight.
Plus, thousands of Colorado college students enter a new phase of their lives this weekend. One teen is about to become one of the youngest people ever to graduate from a local university.
So you'll actually graduate from college before high school.
Technically, I think, yeah.
Technically, yes. No, for real. A college degree and a high school diploma at the same time. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Nicole Brady.
And I'm Brian Sanders. Several graduation ceremonies this weekend, but you'll have to hold on to your caps and gowns. It will be another windy one. Stacy joining
It will.
us.
Those winds will be picking up today again. Temperatures right now mostly in the 30s and 40s here across the Front Range and the plains. We have 20s and 30s through the higher elevations. And as you head out the door this morning, temperatures will mostly be in the 50s from 8 o'clock on. Once we hit 10 o'clock, we'll be in the 60s and then 70s into the early part of the afternoon with a high of 77 degrees today. So some really pretty weather, but we do have high fire danger here across the Front Range and the eastern plains today. These mild temperatures here for our area and parts northeast. We'll also have 50s and 60s for the high country with that red flag warning in effect today for Metro Denver all the way down into southern Colorado, but it does include the entire I-25 corridor all across the eastern plains for today. And we already have a fire weather watch issued for southern Colorado for Saturday. So it looks like this will stick around for a couple of days. It's going to be a cool day to start our morning and then sunny and warmer later today with that fire weather warning in effect for the afternoon. We'll talk more about the weekend forecast coming up.
And right now the overall drive is affected by a lot of sun glare for us here this morning. Not seeing any too many big problems, but you can see that sun is going to be a major factor for us on any of the eastbound routes. Speaking of one of the eastbound routes out to the I-70 drive, or 6th Avenue rather, right there at Kipling, still cleaning up the last of that crash that we had on one of those ramps, but really not seeing any big delays. Over around 270, I-76, that's where Air Tracker 7 is, and they're taking a look. This is on the westbound side, so out of really lanes, but you can see the big toe right there with that semi. This would be the eastbound side heading into that sunshine. That's going to start slowing down for you here this morning. To or from the airport, at least driving out there looks good, but the security wait time again at 25 to 30 minutes, so a long time wait when you get inside the airport to get through security.
Well, this morning, a star Broncos player is waking up in jail. Receiver Jeudy was arrested yesterday. The news came on what was otherwise an exciting day for the team as we learned their upcoming game schedule.
Yeah. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta joins us live to explain the charges he's facing. Veronica, a little confusing here.
They are a little confusing, but Jeudy is scheduled for a court hearing later this morning, right around 8:30, right here behind me. He was held overnight at the Arapahoe County Jail, and he was held on no bond, and that's only because of the kind of allegations that he's facing. So let's run you through those this morning. Second-degree criminal tampering, which is a misdemeanor, but because the incident involved his girlfriend, there's that domestic violence enhancer on the charge. So law enforcement, they made it very clear there was no physical violence between Jeudy and the mother of his child. She's actually the one who called police. We did obtain the arrest affidavit. She told police Jeudy put her wallet and child's medical paperwork in his car and then refused to give them back to her. She said she just wanted the items back. She didn't want to get Jeudy in trouble. Deputies say Jeudy was cooperative and told them that he did take her items because she wouldn't give him his phone.
Solely involved property. There was no damage to property. All that happened is that there was an accusation that property was being withheld, and deputies determined that there was enough probable cause to make an arrest.
Now, Jeudy is expected again in court later this morning. That's going to happen right around 8:30, and of course, we'll keep you updated on that. We're in Arapahoe County this morning. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Veronica. Meanwhile, I want to get to the exciting part, and that's the Broncos game schedule.
Yeah, team kicking it off with a huge game. Russell Wilson will be heading back to Seattle for his first game in the orange and blue. The Broncos take on the Seahawks for Monday Night Football on September 12th, and you'll be able to watch that right here on Denver 7.
That'll be big for him, and Seattle's a tough place to play. That is the first, though, of 5 primetime games on their schedule. Here's a look at some of the others. Of course, they play in London October 30th. They also play on Christmas Day and New Year's Day, and head coach Nathaniel Hackett says he's excited about this schedule.
In the end, it's about getting to the playoffs, right? And that is the ultimate national television. That is the ultimate. So the more practice you can get in that situation, the better you're going to be as a team to just know that pressure, that the mindset that everybody's watching you, and be able to learn how you can cope with that and feel that environment and that excitement. So the more we get that, the better we're going to be.
And they could earn more primetime games later in the season if they're moved into that position. You can see the Broncos' entire schedule right now on thedenverchannel.com.
Today at 12:30, President Biden is meeting with police chiefs and community leaders from across the country to talk about using money from the American Rescue Plan to improve community safety. This comes as the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office announces it doesn't have enough money to stop crime. Denver 7's Jessica Crawford is here. And Jessica, that statement was posted by the sheriff on Facebook. As you can imagine, it's gotten a lot of reaction.
That's right, and he started off that blog post by saying that 7 of his deputies have been victims of attempted murder within the past 28 days, and he says he thinks that crime has really gone up over the past 2 years. Sheriff Jeff Schrader wrote in a blog post that he attributes that rise in crime since 2020 to a few things. He said that the 2020 budget cut $6.5 million from the sheriff's office, leading to 40 fewer detention deputies and the closing of 1 floor of the jail. Schrader went on to write that the pandemic led to the jail's capacity being even lower, with only 658 people being allowed in jail. He added that the defund the police narrative led lawmakers to remove important protections from law enforcement. Schrader said that the short-term solution is in funding. The county received more than $200 million in CARES Act and American Rescue Plan funds. He wants $3.75 million for 2023 so they can fully reopen the jail. But the sheriff wrote that his department has merely been allocated $260,000. We took those concerns to the Board of County Commissioners. They tell us that they haven't come to a conclusion on next year's funding yet, and that they are in talks with the sheriff about what his department needs.
We all very much appreciate and honor all of our first responders, our deputies who are out there 24 hours a day protecting the public. Last year, when we found out about the ARPA dollars, the first thing the commissioners did is reach out to our staff and also put a survey out to our constituents asking where would these ARPA dollars best serve our community moving forward. With over half of the county budget in public safety right now, absolutely more than $260,000 of that ARPA money is going to go to public safety.
But it could be a while before we find out exactly how much money the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department could get. The final budget for 2023 does not get approved until December of this year. Live from Denver, I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
Thank you, Jessica. We do have a follow-up to breaking news we first brought you yesterday morning. We now know the crime spree that ended at a Boulder RTD station started much earlier. Police say Trenton Dunham stole a gun and a car and shot into a home in Greeley early yesterday morning. He then carjacked a truck in Broomfield and later led Boulder police on a chase through the city there. At one point, police say he pointed a gun at officers. They shot at him but missed. Officers finally arrested him near Table Mesa and Highway 36 after using maneuvers to get him to stop. Dunham is now facing 16 charges.
Firefighters in the southern half of our state are hard at work putting out several wildfires. One of them forced 500 families to evacuate on the west side of Colorado Springs. Those evacuations have been lifted this morning. Minutes later, though, another fire ignited at a mobile home park near Garden of the Gods, destroying several homes. And another fire led to a shelter in place at the Colorado Springs airport. Flights are now back to normal this morning. Denver 7's Colette Bordelon joins us now from Teller County with what we're learning about yet another fire west of Cripple Creek. Good morning, Colette.
Good morning, Nicole. This one burning about 4 miles west of Cripple Creek, like you were just saying, and it's estimated around 400 acres, so the largest fire out of those ones that you just listed off from yesterday. Now, you can't see the smoke that we were seeing yesterday. It was just covering Pikes Peak, billowing down off of the mountains and completely coating the Colorado Springs community, which is just down the mountain from Cripple Creek, where we are right now. But what you can do out here is smell the smoke. Now, here's footage of that fire from yesterday afternoon. The High Park fire has been declared a local disaster for wildland fire teams, meaning emergency action has been authorized. It's burned around 400 acres in Teller County as of last night, not contained by any percentage. Crews were on scene throughout the evening, and the good news, no homes have burned. but just over 100 people couldn't go home last night because of this fire, including the entire Lakemore subdivision along with County Road 11 and 1. Cripple Creek Ranches subdivision is under a pre-evacuation notice, and a shelter has been set up at Cripple Creek schools. Now you can tell out here the winds calmer this morning. They're estimated around 20 to 25 miles per hour overnight, but they could get up to 30 to 40 miles per hour during the day today. That combined with low humidity and high temperatures, obviously not ideal for firefighters. Of course, we're all crossing our fingers for them. We're expecting an update here at 9, and we'll have all of those details for you throughout our morning show coverage. And I do just want to mention, we've been staying at the Wildwood Casino overnight. This is what the people in this community are talking about. They want to know what is going on with this fire. We hope to have those answers soon. Live in Cripple Creek, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Thanks, Colette. Yes, that is a scary situation, and we do have a red flag warning in effect for that area for the rest of today, as those winds are expected to pick up again today. High fire danger all across the Front Range, the Eastern Plains, and into southern Colorado, and it does look like it's going to last into tomorrow as well with these warm conditions and gusty winds. As we go into the weekend, though, we'll have some changes on the way going into our 7-day forecast, and I'll have that for you coming up in just a little bit.
As we look at EarthCam across downtown Denver, looking right at Coors Field, looking at a pretty nice drive across downtown Denver right now. I'm not seeing any problems from I-25 getting into downtown, including Park Avenue West or 20th Street, which would just be on the south side of Coors Field. But Rockies are back in town, and they're going to be playing here at Coors Field, so we'll be busy, obviously, around Lodo this weekend.
New this hour, Congress launching an investigation into the baby formula shortage, what the White House is doing to get more supplies to store shelves.
Plus, helping new graduates ease into the real world, the app that's now teaching them some of the adulting lessons they might not have learned in school.